Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor, which is due unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Makar double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great, most honorable, well, and taught me his truth, and Shalom to the Lord's elect. Okay, the elect of Israel, starting with 144,000. And, yeah, today, man, I wanted to speak on, in the news, it's been talking about Elon Musk being the first trillionaire. And, as the apostles have been saying, people like Musk and Bill Gates, they're charity cases, okay, to the international banking elite families like the Rothschilds, for example, okay, old money, right? And, when you look into, you had the Epstein files come out, when you look into, how a lot of these guys get their money, which the apostles have been saying for a while, okay, they get handouts, okay, from the elites, okay. Bill Gates, he's in the file. He went to Epstein's file. He went to the island. He was asking him for money. Okay. Same thing with Musk. They were asking for money, man, because people think, you can work hard and you can just make it. No, man. There's, whether you know it or not, there's like invisible ceilings, if you will, of where you can go in terms of industry and money in this kingdom. Okay, you're not gonna get to that level without the okay from the elites. Okay, and that's a fact. Okay, because the fact that they've actually gone for money to do what they're doing, and now they're in the so-called position they're in, they're set up. Okay, they're set up to push agendas. Okay, Musk he's been set up to push what? The chip, the New World Order. Okay, you got Tesla, Neuralink. Okay, that's what he's, AI, that's what he's there to push. Okay. This is James chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you." Okay. That's a super elite of Esau. Okay, when we're talking about the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, these families, okay, these Oppenheimers, DuPont, so on and so forth, okay. They're, at the end of the day, their kingdom is going to come to an end, or their fun, them just doing what they want, that's going to come to an end. Okay, by the way of the missiles and by the way of the return of the Lord with the chariots. Okay, and you know what is going to happen to them? They're going to go straight into captivity, man. All right, we're going to get them out of them bunkers and put them straight into work. Let's go to quickly to let me go from here to not Proverbs, Psalms 149 verse 7. It says, "To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people." Yeah, it's vengeance, because you know what? Hey, the main people who are funding our collapse and our slavery, what is elites? Okay. It says, "To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron." Okay, so that's their elites. Okay, we're going to literally round them up, put these huge fetters of iron and chains on them, okay, and put them to work. They're going to be the first crop of slaves. It says, "To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all these saints, praise ye the Lord." So that's what's coming for these rich men, okay? The scriptures just said about their miseries, all right? Their thing is coming to a close, all right? Now they think that they're going to be able to fulfill this New World Order agenda. Well, I've got a couple of scriptures. This is Job chapter 20, verse 5. I'll start from 4. It says, "Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. And as it is written, you know, Satan's going to be loosed a little season. In the grand scheme of things, this devil, he's just been ruling for a little while, man. But it's going to come to a close, and we're going to be ruling forever. Okay. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Okay, so, you know, Esau, he's having his little run, but his run's coming to a close now. Okay, and ultimately, after he serves his slavery, 1,000 years of hardcore slavery in the kingdom, he's going to be done away with. He's going to be burnt up, man. Okay, we're going to round him up and we're going to get rid of him. All right, that's Obadiah 1:18. Right, this is Job chapter 20, verse 22, same chapter. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And that's that wicked there is talking about laborers. That's it, Israelites. Okay, so he's going to be in a place of difficulty when he thinks he's doing good. Why? Because his kingdom's going to be falling, man. There's going to be all kinds of chaos and things happening. All right. It says when he's about to fill his belly, you know what? When he's just about to, you know, push this new world order agenda, and we're just pushing it now, but start to fulfill it by what? What's the major step? Chipping the people. The mark of the beast prophecy in Revelation 13. It says, Yahweh Shai shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So he's gonna, you know, you can imagine someone like they're eating and they're about to take that satisfying bite, and that just gets slapped out of their hand. That's what the Lord's gonna do to the elites, man. Okay. All right, they ain't gonna get away with this enterprise of theirs. All right, let me go back to James chapter 5. It says, verse 2: Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and you shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. Okay. This system, that's this system that Esau set up. Okay, is pretty much bringing that rust. All right. And ultimately, you know, the scriptures talk about in Habakkuk how long him that laid himself with thick clay. That's that heavy debt-based system. Okay. It also says in Ezekiel 28, verse 4, it says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. So these elites, these real, you know, the ones that have got the actual wealth like that, they're proud as hell, man. Okay. And they give these little handouts to these minions that go and do their bidding. Okay. Because therefore, thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Okay. Because they think they're on the level of the Most High. All this technology, all of this that they're doing, this control they want. It says, behold, therefore, okay, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Okay, and ultimately, you know, America's going to get nuked. Okay, so these countries are going to come up against Edom. They're going to come up against that, and Esau's being exposed. All right, he's being exposed, and ultimately, it says what? They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt be die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the sea. So this man's power is going to be taken, man. All this wealth, all this power. And you know what? We're going to truly have that in the kingdom. Okay? You want to talk about wealth? Yeah, Elon Musk is a charity case, man. Okay? The wealth that we're going to have in the kingdom. Because remember, we're going to have the blessings, and everything we do, everything we touch is just going to turn to gold, man. essentially. Okay, and I think I'll just close out on that. Let me read that quickly. Okay, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 5. It says, "Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out." Okay, let me jump down to verse 8. "The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee." So we're going to be completely blessed, man. Okay, we looked at, beyond beyond the wildest imagination. Okay, so hey, this is just a quick lesson, and Lord willing was edifying. With that, man, I'm going to say shalom.